I want you to take a minute and acknowledge how far you've come in just a few short months. So last night, my poor husband has a stomach bug, so I slept down here on the couch. And the last time I slept down here on the couch was election night. As you might imagine, that brought all the feels. Because that was the night, like most of you, that was the night that changed everything for me. Now, of course, for me, that's when I began posting about what's happening in the country and the world and spiritually. And that's when I began leading here, creating the 4am Club, and creating events for you to work with me off of TikTok with my healing circles, my channeling events, and most recently, my live psychic prediction for the month of March. This has allowed me to step into my calling as a teacher, a healer, a mystic, a leader, more than ever before. And I am so incredibly grateful. But my transformation from that night to now is not only about that and the work I'm doing, it's about how I've changed. Thinking about that night, lying here on the couch 3 months ago, 4 months ago, 8 years ago, I don't know. Time is so weird these days. But thinking about the difference between what I was feeling then and how I was facing our future then versus how I'm facing our future now, when arguably things are a lot scarier now than they were then. Lying on that couch, I was absolutely terrified. I was terrified at the thought of that man taking office. I was reliving all my pre-COVID fears and more. The world as we know it is ending. We will never get out of this alive. This is the end. But as I laid there on that night, at some point, in all my panic, I made a choice. And I said, I have made it through everything that's ever come before. And I will make it through this now. But not only that, I am not powerless. I am a motherfucking priestess. And I will not let this shit stand. If I have any ounce of magical ability in my body, if the law of attraction is real, if manifesting is real, if harnessing our collective intention is real, I am going to prove it now. No, I'm going to force the universe to prove it now. And I got to work. I called in the elements. I called in the goddesses, the dark goddesses, the vengeful goddesses. I called in my masters, my teachers, my ancestors. But most of all, I called in my own power, my own strength, my own will to see my version of the future a reality now. And it was in that space of transmuting my fear, facing my fear and saying, not today, bitch. In that moment of choosing power, choosing vision, and being willing to do whatever it is in my power to do to change what I'm seeing in the world around me. It was in that space that I had my 4am Club experience. And that's the energy that I have been embodying ever since. I am a warrior for light. I am a fighter for what I believe in. I am calling into being that which I want to see. And I am not afraid by what is right in front of me, because I am not powerless to change it. And, well, if you've been following me for a while, you know what happened next. You know how this energy swept through the country, the world, and awoke people just like me who had power that was ready to harness. And even if you didn't know you had that power before that night, so many of you discovered that power, discovered that connection. And that's what we've been doing together. I've been using my knowledge and abilities as a healer to help you find your feet. And then together we've been talking about our dreams for the future. And not just our dreams like our imaginations, our fantasies, our actual dreams. We had actual dreams, visions of the future on that night. Or perhaps not of the future, but of an alternate reality that we weren't ready to let go of. That we were using our divine will to create. The second most powerful night I had on this 4am Club journey is the night they took TikTok away from us. And I had the chance to reflect on what we've done as a community, and I cried all night. I was in such awe of how the people came together with open hearts, with courage, being willing to face their worst fears, and day after day come back to this community to find hope, to share our wisdom, and to get back up again. I have never been prouder of anything in my life than what I'm doing now in this space, in my work right now, for this incredible group of people. And I hope that you feel that way about yourself too. Even if you are still in fear or despair or anxiety, I need you to know that our accomplishments aren't measured by our level of anxiety. It's about our level of willingness to keep coming back, to keep trying, to keep facing our fears, to hold on to hope against all odds. These are the measures of someone who is truly courageous. And week after week, as I've been talking about healing, as I've been talking about facing the wounds of all we've ever come before, that's really the only quality you need is courage. Courage to face it, excuse me, courage to face it and to keep coming back to do the work that's necessary. And that's what I'm seeing happening here in the 4 a.m. Club. So as we keep going forward here, that's what I want you to remember. And I want you to take a moment to give yourself that love, that gratitude, that appreciation for your fire, your courage, your hope, your willingness to keep coming back. Think about how far you've come. Think about that. Think about the person you are now versus the person you were then. Even if you can only notice slight changes, even if the difference between who you are then and now hasn't changed, think about the difference between who you were in 2016 and now. Look at all the, excuse me, morning voice. Look at all the incredible growth that you have achieved. An indomitable spirit cannot be ruled by tyrannical government. Hope is the greatest form of resistance we have. Peace, vision, and the willingness to fight for that vision is what is making us victorious. Not is gonna make us victorious, is already making us victorious. Hold the light, hold the hope. We are doing it. We rise together.